Hey everyone, today we're going down this wilderness road and we are the first vehicle of the year. I just went through a whole bunch of snow drifts that are still on the road, and here's another one. Got to use caution this time of year because we are the first vehicle going down here. So we will be the first one to find any sort of washouts, blockages, bridges that are missing. If we come across a spot that there's, see, I'm bottoming out slightly, but these are just small snow drifts and areas of snow left over in shady areas. All the footprints you're seeing is mostly just moose tracks and stuff. We are in the absolute middle of nowhere here. The nearest road that was actually plowed this year is about 30 miles behind us, and yeah, we are far from anything. It would probably take me, if I really tried, at least 4 hours to get to a gas station. But we're prepared to be stuck for a while, in case anything were to happen. Overall, this road is very nice. No potholes or nothing. Just got to use caution going through these areas. If it is too deep, we will turn around. I don't mind dragging like an inch or two on the bottom of the vehicle, but nothing more than that. We did go over one bridge back there. We were the first vehicle over that bridge in like 7 months. Long winters up here. And that bridge, at first, I got out to just take a look at it because one end of it was very low. It was no longer straight. Just wanted to make sure it didn't have structural damage to it, but it looked like just gradual settling over time. And on this road in the middle of nowhere, we have come across one moose so far, and we came across what I think was it was either a beaver or a very small porcupine. I'm thinking it was a porcupine because porcupines are stubborn, and this thing acted very, very stubborn. Didn't want to move out of the way. Well, it did move out of the way, but it showed like no fear. Okay, I just want to see what's down this. How's this road look? I'm not going to be taking this road. I don't want to take this road far. Yeah, look at this. Big old mud pit. Very deep mud pit. What's there? Another road. These roads right here are in horrible shape. Can I turn around in this mud pit? Oh, let's go up here, I think. We'll find a spot to turn around. This looks more promising. What is this? It looks like a dead end too. Well, it used to be a road. It's no longer a road. I gotta be very careful here. Because right next to me, to my left, is that the road I just came from? No, I don't think, no, it's not. Because right next to me is a massive cliff to my left. You see that? This is where they've been pulling sand out of to fix the roadways. Yeah, so this was just a dead end. I see a bunch of crumpled culverts. This is like, yeah, that's why it's such a big muddy mess right there to the left. This is one of their like quarries and gravel pits where they just maintain the roads. And they also dump garbage culverts there to rust away. You could hear the water on the wheels. It was very soft right there. Never know what we might come across on a road like this. Worst case scenario, the thing we could find is a melting frost heave or a sinkhole that you're just the first car to go over it for the year and you fall in. Did that once. Alright, the road looks really nice here. speed though. This area has a lot of deer. Although they're most active at dusk. And now we're into the middle of the night, so they're not as big of a concern. But I saw a ton of them today. You know, today after I was done unclogging a pipe, I was just relaxing by the pipe. I went down in the water to wash myself up, and behind me, they snuck up on me. They're so quiet. There was like a dozen deer behind me up on the road watching me, and I spooked them because they startled me, so I was like, ah, and they all ran away, but I could not get them to come back near me. Sat in the car for hours editing things, and even left a trail of bread bits for like a half a mile up the road. They never came back. This is a good amount of snow cover right here. I just hit a little bit. No vehicle tracks, just a bunch of animal prints. If you do notice something there that does kind of look like a one tire tread, like a big giant tire tread, that's just the animals all walk in the same spot because it's easy. Imagine when there was 4 feet of snow here a month ago. Animals are of course going to follow each other's trails. It's not easy to walk through 4 feet. That's why animals are always in the road when you're far up north. Especially if you're watching things people do in Alaska. Moose are always walking in the road when you got snow just towering over the edges of the road. I usually drive around for a couple hours like this at night before bed when I'm working out here. It's really nice to see what kind of animals are out here. Because we are on roads right now that I said nobody's been on them for 7 months. And even in the summertime, this far out where you need multiple fill-ups of fuel to get out here, even in the summer, there's very few tourists and hunters who are willing to do stuff like that. But people who are big into off-roading and the loggers out here, they all have auxiliary fuel tanks on their trucks. Most of the pickup trucks loggers have, they have their own gas pump in the bed of the truck, or diesel pump. It's usually diesel because they can use it to fill up the machines, and a lot of loggers for that reason have diesel trucks because it's way easier. Although you gotta put additives in your fuel up this far north. Because this far north it gets too cold. When you're this far north in Maine, it's not uncommon to see negative 40 approach. And diesel starts to gel at 16 above. But people who are big into off-roading, I learned, get auxiliary fuel tanks. And that's one thing that I'm going to have put on pretty soon. Any vehicle that has a full-size spare tire underneath the back of it, whether it's a pickup truck or an SUV, you can get a second gas tank that goes there. And with a transfer pump, it can refill your original tank 1 or 2 times, depending on the type of vehicle. If it's a pickup truck, especially a full-size pickup truck, you can get a much bigger tank to fill up. Now, depending what state you're in, that may be an issue. But, thankfully, there's only 2 states that have an issue with you having an auxiliary fuel tank, and you can probably guess which ones it is. California and Massachusetts. Now, Massachusetts, I'm not sure if it's actually banned for residents. It probably is, but that's where I bought my vehicle, in Massachusetts, and the dealership I bought it from was, they at first said, oh, it's a go, we'll put it on, especially since you don't live here. But then they decided not to, and and they weren't clear whether if it's the law or a liability or they just didn't want to do it. But the dealership I use up here was fine with it. They said, you get the part, we'll install it. And they weren't even going to charge a lot to install it. But I'm going to have a welder do it instead, because the tank I bought fills the car up exactly once. But the welder thinks that this might be too deep now. No, car is not struggling at all. Alright, before we get stuck, I think we might back up. How far does this go? I think I can see the end of it if I can just go like another 50 feet through this. It looks like it's not as deep if I go over a little. Yeah, I think this might be the end of this. Yeah, we'll come back in another few weeks. This is stupid traction control. I'm not stuck. It is traction control, and I just gotta shut it off. I am a little stuck, but I'm not concerned. We'll get out of it. Yeah, we'll just follow our same treads right back out. We haven't been driving in this for long. Wow, look at that. I actually plowed a good amount of the snow. You see that? I pushed a good amount, yeah. Snow is still pretty deep right here. Yeah, snow is nice and deep here. Well, enough for this road. We'll explore this the next time I'm in this section, because this will melt fast. It's gonna be May in a couple days. This time of year, yes, we can still get snow, but it's unlikely to accumulate, and it's melting fast. The reason I'm having trouble backing up is because, for one, the backup camera is pretty dirty. I can actually see a little bit out of it, but all the reverse lights are so covered in mud. I know, I'm an idiot. I should just get out and clean off the back, but look, we're already out of it. So now I'm just gonna do just turn around. Carefully approach edges on roads like this. Yes, it's still frozen. Right here it is, at least. Because sometimes you can sink very unexpectedly deep. I did that earlier today. I tried to pull over and I sunk enough where I bottomed out. The wheels went really deep into the side. But I still had two wheels on solid ground, so the car pulled itself right back out. We'll go down there another time. There's probably like a 95% chance if I went through that really fast, I could have plowed to the end of that. But I also could have got really stuck. And if I got stuck, it's not a big deal. I would have just went to sleep in the middle of the road and done it in the morning. Dig myself out in the morning. No one's been down here for 7 months, and I doubt somebody would just randomly show up at this hour before it got dawn. I love being out here on these wilderness roads. I love being up for a challenge. The possibility of getting stuck is part of the challenge. Those are fun. But until mud season's over, I don't want to go down any very tight roads where I can't possibly turn around. Because, I'm sure you guys may have seen me go down certain roads in the summertime when mud season's over. Roads that are so tight constantly scraping against the bushes on both sides at the same time. What's this? What's this road right here? It doesn't look like we'll be able to go far on this either. No. That second patch of snow up there, I cannot see the end of it, and it's going around a corner. It's not very deep, but next winter, when I have a bigger vehicle, we'll do some exploring more, so it'll be much better for going off-road when I finally get a truck that has a better clearance and bigger wheels. Then I can just put tire chains on and easily plow through that stuff. This car, most people don't use their vehicles for this sort of job, and as a result, it has plastic skid plates. That's never really been a problem. I've hit the oil pan so many times, it's never broke. I just got extremely lucky. But the next truck, it's all going to be skid plates underneath. So with skid plates and the front of the vehicle having like a big slanted 45-degree skid plate, you'll be able to plow through snow and bottom out a lot. And with the tire chains and the truck being so much heavier, it'll be able to go through that stuff much easier, I think. And I'm gonna get a hitch on the front of the truck so I can get one of those winches that you can just move to front or back and you just plug it in, because I'm going to put a trailer plug in the front too to run things like that. And that might actually be nice. You can put a bike rack in the front of the truck too. Of course, there are a couple states I think that don't allow that. I'm pretty sure Massachusetts is one of them. But Massachusetts is one of the weird states. You know, that's the only state in the whole country that doesn't allow fireworks. But even when I was a kid down there, anyone who had fireworks, even when we used fireworks when I was a little kid, the cops even said, as long as there's a parent present, we'll just look the other way. We did this stuff as kids, and this law is absolutely stupid. So the cops literally refused to enforce it. I remember in Massachusetts in 2020, when all the fireworks shows were canceled because of COVID, I was in the city and the entire city was this dense smog because everyone was doing their own fireworks. The police didn't enforce it one bit. They didn't care. And somebody must have complained to the local news network, and they said on the local news, please stop with all the fireworks. You're giving people in the city PTSD because of all the noises and fireworks going off. Well, I don't know about the whole PTSD thing, because every other state in the country doesn't have the firework ban, so I don't think it's as big of a deal as they're making it out to be. The only time I think you should really be careful with fireworks is when it's extremely dry out, so you don't start a forest fire, and always be supervised when there's children, because that is one thing the cops did say when we were using fireworks. They did say, we will only take the fireworks away from kids. Also, Massachusetts has the dumbest thing involving fireworks ever. They have a maximum fine for fireworks, $25. Yeah, that's gonna stop anybody from doing it. If someone's doing fireworks themselves are usually expensive, and everyone will take that $25 risk. Is a smoke bomb considered a firework? remember even when I lived in Massachusetts, I ordered a bunch of smoke bombs, pulling fireworks, those type of things from Amazon, and they shipped them right over to Massachusetts. There was something else. Yeah, I don't think is technically a firework. You know, throwing fireworks, it's the firework. It's in that little ball, that piece of paper you throw it. That's not actually a firework. It's a chemical reaction. But they actually do have one. I think it's called mega bangers. They're bigger ones that they actually have explosives in them that go off when you throw them. Not the ones with the little rocks that react to each other when they hit. Those the ones I'm talking about, if you know what I'm talking about, you can actually collect the little stones off the kitchen floor, sweep them up, and put them back in the little piece of paper and wind it up, and it'll actually go off again. They're reusable to an extent if you want to take the time to do that. But those things are so cheap. You can get them at the fireworks store near my house for like $4 for $1, and you get a bag of a bunch. It's one of the cheapest things. The big fireworks are expensive. I don't buy those often. I did a few last year just because I never bought them before. You know, like actual professional rockets where you drop it down the tube and light a wick. Those things are like $25 a piece, but you can get a deal in bulk. Look at this. I plowed through this earlier. I wasn't filming at that point. You can hear it scraping under there. The bigger fireworks I did last year, those, it's kind of cool. Once it explodes in the sky, it sounds like rain all around you, all the little pieces of ash falling everywhere. I went to a fireworks show last year. It was like, I couldn't believe how close they allowed the audience to be where it was they were taking off from. There was even a misfire that randomly went off very close to people. Oh, here's the bridge I was talking about. You see how where I'm approaching is very crooked. You gotta be careful with these bridges. I have approached ones myself that have washed out, and I was the first person to discover it. Is this a road to my left? Because I came from the right. Yeah, that's not passable at all. But boy, look at the animal tracks. Every inch of that is tracks from animals. Maybe we'll get to see another moose while we're out here driving around having fun. Oh, but I was saying that those big fireworks are like $25 a piece, but you can get them in bulk. I think last year I got like a 24 pack for $150. Look at this. This looked like a big intimidating flood when I first was coming out here, but when I first came through this flood like a half an hour ago, I got out and walked through it just to inspect that the road was not missing, or there was a culvert pipe that was missing, like a big hole. There's another road right here. I don't think this will be passable either. There's a lot of water flowing out of it. What do we got here? Big puddle. This is not a place. This looks like another gravel pit. Yeah, it's just a gravel pit. It ends, and it's just a bunch of flood. And look at another pile of culverts and rotten wood timbers from when they replaced one of the decks. A lot of times, because the deck gets destroyed so fast with tire chains in the winter time, they don't even use pressure treated wood because they expect to replace the bridge decks every other year or so. Alright, so we're driving back down. There's not as much snow. There's a couple more snowy patches, but really not many like this. Don't want to go fast here. This road does have a speed limit of 35 in the summertime. Most of the logging roads, the main arteries, have a speed limit of 45, but it's not a temporary road, but it's also not a main road either. Every now and then on these roads, you'll come across a random cabin like 50 miles from any other building or anything, which is really cool. But the logging company, they do not sell land, but they're willing to lease you land for a seasonal camp or something. They will sell it to you, but it takes a lot of begging and negotiation, and the price is going to be huge. We're bottoming out again. Just want to go slow. I actually do have a skid plate that's like half fallen off. They're plastic junk ones. Just the little plastic pins fell out of it. And I have a pin kit when I get home. I'll fix it. It's just hung up with bungee cords now, but I don't want a bungee cord to become loose, get wrapped around something. Although bungee cord, I don't think a bungee cord is any match for a drive shaft or anything. I don't think it would hurt anything. I think it would just break it. Did we already go down this road? Is this the one we just... No, it's not. Of course not. I wasn't filming yet. But this is a big old flood. Oh yeah. I walked up here a couple days ago, checking that out. That road is actually solid. Let's drive through it. Let's see where we end up. I didn't take the vehicle through it yet, but I did inspect 2 days ago. There's a culvert pipe right underneath here, and there's another culvert pipe up here. The Beavers plugged it, and it caused the whole road to wash out. You see there's actually a good amount of rapids going across the road right here. But I did walk up here and inspect 2 days ago. This road is solid, so I am comfortable driving right on through it. I don't know if you saw that to the left. The Beaver Dam was like right up on the road. And I have not gone up here. I didn't walk up here, and I did not take the vehicle up here. But this right here is a temporary road. So right there, I don't even bother flagging that. Oh, it's pretty obvious there's a problem, and if they did want to, they don't need my flagging to tell them there's an issue. And this is a temporary road, so as soon as that becomes impassable, this will be allowed to grow back in. But that is built actually pretty tough, so people are going to drive through that for years before it becomes impassable. So I wonder how far we'll get to go down this. I'm just going to record for just a couple more minutes. If I see any cool moose, I'll record them. But they'll just be running away. Every rare once in a while, you'll get a moose that's just stubborn. It's just standing in the road, and you can drive like within feet of it. It's just standing there staring at you. Or maybe it just doesn't realize what you are. Maybe it's just that blind or deaf or something. It's just looking at your lights. But moose just take off, and they will run in front of you for miles on end because they cannot see the forest. They don't know where to go, because when you're behind them with a bright headlight, they see the forest as just a black wall on each side of them. It's the same thing if you get out in front of the car right now and you have no light of your own. You can't see to your sides, so the moose can't see where it's going. So there was a video a couple years ago. I followed the moose for like over a mile before I stopped, and I learned now why the moose was acting like that. So anytime I see an animal now in the road, I'll follow it for maybe 100 feet, and if it doesn't go in the woods, I just simply shut the headlight off for a minute, give its eyes a chance to adjust, and almost every single time it has disappeared after a minute. But I realize that now. If you see a moose, just shut the headlights off. If you hear all that banging around, I still haven't fixed that shock on the vehicle yet. It's just a shock making all that noise. The shock's innards are like just destroyed. So that's what you're hearing banging around. It's not a big concern. But the next time I have to go to the mechanic, I would just have him replace both of the back shocks at once. Trying to get away with not fixing it. Oh, we're starting to get snowy again. How long will it be before we're forced to turn around? How deep is this snow? You can see recently a moose or something ran through there. That's what the snow is stirred up from. Alright, we're good now. Been driving a while. Intersection. It's a four-way, it looks like. So first off, in front of us is too overgrown to go down and extremely deep snow. That road is dead. You can't go down there ever again. So we're backing up again. What is to the left? To the left. It looks like I might be able to go down there in the summertime, but no. It just goes in like 100 feet. And it's completely overgrown. But this road is passable enough for a reason. So, let's see what there is to the right from where I came in. Back down this way. Yep, this road will probably go for quite a while. Probably the deepest water I've ever gone through with this vehicle, and I would ever go through, is probably 10 inches. The clearance is 8, and I don't want to go much more than that. If the water was rushing, I probably wouldn't want to go more than 5. Depends how fast of a rush it is. I've never encountered anything that was super duper fast. And if it was super duper fast, I don't think the road would even be there anymore. Not a dirt road. So I started making videos like this, just driving around having fun, because I'm just driving around myself. It actually keeps me company talking to the camera, and some people in my comments said this is kind of like a little podcast thing for my second channel. So I'll keep making videos like this. I don't even save videos like this. I upload them and I just delete them. I don't even back them up, because this is just me talking. Just a little podcast or vlog. I should call it a vlog. That is technically what it is, but someone else called it the other word. That's why I said it. I like driving around like this, and the camera is actually company. Alright, what do we got here? This is probably a temporary road again also. Yeah, that's got a giant snow drift in it. Yeah, because just think about it. In the winter, when you got a blizzard, the trees are a barrier, so it goes around these corners in the roads and it leaves a drift. Snow is almost gone for the year. Snow is definitely sticking around later than it was last year. Now here's the strange thing. This was a much warmer year than normal. It was. Despite me even getting to camp on that river. Because this is very far north, and that was very far north where I camped on that river. those areas are used to getting temperatures negative 30 multiple nights, multiple weeks in a row. This year, it wasn't multiple weeks, but it just happened a couple times. It was still cold enough for a river to freeze, but like where I live, remember that river I camped on, that ice ledge, that camp from 2 years ago? That river didn't even freeze this year. When that video 2 years ago, it had over a foot of ice I was camping on. This year did not even freeze. It frazzled up a bunch, and it started closing in on the edges, because frazzle ice, it keeps sticking to the edges of the river and it kind of zippers it up. Didn't happen completely this year. Couldn't even walk across it. Nothing. This year we got down to negative 30 something once at my house. Just once. And there was so many people in the comments saying that, oh, you're a liar, it's not negative 30. I should have showed the thermometer in that video. You know, the stupidest video ended up going viral. The one with that carpet steamer in the yard. So many people were asking, do you have mental problems? You know, they didn't get the whole thing behind the video. You know, why did that stupid video go viral? I wish the one of me, what is that? Oh, this is a dead end. We can't go any further. That is it's some guy's hunting thing that he left out here. So basically what a guy's going to do with that thing is they'll probably put corn or something out in the field, and he'll just sit in there with a rifle all day with a chair. That's basically what that is. Yeah, we came across another one of those earlier today. It looked like the guy reused an outhouse. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah. So I made two videos. I made a video of the extreme cold. Remember I set sprinklers up. I even let a sprinkler run in the yard all night long when it was extremely cold out. And I made a couple shorts. I made one short that started off as the highway sign saying extreme bitter cold, avoid outdoors. And then I showed myself spraying myself with the hose, and my whole face was covered in icicles. Oh, why wasn't it that one that got all the views? It was the stupid one with the carpet steamer and the camera angle. You couldn't even see my breath with the camera light in that position. So everyone thought it was fake. You can't even see your breath. But no, actually you can see your breath even if it's 40 degrees or under. And it was obviously 40 degrees in that video, but I guess all the people complaining and things saying it was fake are probably southern people who don't understand that. If it's 40 degrees out, you can start to see your breath. And you can certainly see your breath when it's down to negative 30 out. I had icicles all over my face that day. And also a bunch of people were saying, this guy is bullshitting. There's no way it's negative 30 out. This guy's in a t-shirt. There's just no way. It was a 30-second short. You really think I didn't leave my house for 30 seconds? And the only reason I was out there in a t-shirt is to be funny and make it more extreme. That's all I did. So right now we're on our way back. We'll be going through that flood in like another 5 minutes. I know this road now. There's not really a problem. I can go a little faster down it. Something I gotta look up. I know in this state, Maine, you're not required to take your studded tires off. You can leave them on year-round if you chose to do so. But it would, you know, you're just wasting them. Up here, it doesn't get extremely hot normally. Last year was ridiculous. Maine is not supposed to get heat waves. Last year, we were averaging 91 degrees in July. The average is 76. That was a really bad summer last year. But the reason I brought that up, I need to look up the law. I think Massachusetts, you legally have to take studded tires off for May. So the next time I go to Mass, I think I actually have to take them off, although I don't think a cop would even notice. Or I don't even think they'd enforce it, but I think it's time to take the studded tires off. This snow is going to be gone in like probably within 2 weeks, it'll be gone completely. Even 1 week. Like, there's not much here, but you saw those areas where I was really bogging down and I had to shut the traction control off. I think if it wasn't for the aggressive winter tires, I don't think my normal summer tires would be able to, I don't think would have pulled me out of that. Not nearly as easy. Alright, now where's that flood? We're approaching it, I know we are. Multi-window closed. Your phone is too hot. Let it cool down before using multi-window. I better just shut the heat off in here. And yeah, I have the back windows open and I'm using the heat, and it looks like the phone is overheating. Yeah, so that just means it's not going to charge anymore. That's okay. Yeah, so I have the back windows open and I'm running the heat pretty rapidly in the front. Outside is now 46, not the coldest. Last night got down to 35 out here. It's going to be a warmer night, but it doesn't matter. Last night, 35 degrees. That's awesome. I love when it's that temperature for sleeping. That was so nice and comfortable. I got such a good night's sleep. If it's above 50, I actually get uncomfortable in the car. I do. If it's above 60, I'm going to guaranteed have a bad night for sleeping. No, I have the back windows open because I went over a big bump and one of my gas cans tipped over and it spilled about a half a gallon of fuel into my bed before I even noticed. All the fuel has now since evaporated. It's completely dry, but I can still smell it a bit. And that's why I was talking about earlier, another gas tank. You need extra fuel. One tank doesn't cut it when you're in a place this deep in the woods. And I'm kind of tired of having 6 gas cans with me. It's a pain in the butt pouring them in. It leaks all over your hands because new modern gas cans, it leaks all over the place as you're pouring them. It just leaks right through the handle. I do have 2 really good expensive ones that say what are they made by? No Spill. Those are expensive. I have 2 of those that don't leak all over your hands. But those ones, they pour extremely slow, and the button it hurts your thumb after a while of pushing it. I wish you could push it in and there was like a little latch that would keep the button in, but it's not the case. They do hurt your thumb, and they take twice as long to pour. The Walmart ones do drip all over your hand, but they pour extremely fast, the cheap ones. Going through the flood again. Up over the second culvert pipe, down through another flood. Oh, we just bottomed out a little bit. And we're back out to the semi-main road. The actual main road, we'd have to keep driving on this road for like 30 more miles or so, something like that. Probably only 5 miles in front of me, we'll come across where they are plowing. A private company plowed it, not the logging company. Well, they're private too, but no, there's a maple syrup operation that plowed up to one of their sugar shacks. It would be nice if we get a moose tonight. I remember the good old days. I was out here with my grandparents every night when we were camping. We'd drive around like an hour or 2 every single night, just looking for moose. You'd see dozens every single night, but unfortunately, ticks, hunters, higher temperatures recently, deforestation, moose, they're going down in numbers fast. Now, sometimes I'll see a couple in a night, but I am way deeper in the woods than I've ever explored before. I used to see those dozens in the outskirts of the main woods. Where my house is, they took all the moose crossing signs down 3 years ago. There's just not enough of them. There used to even be a big electronic sign in the area I now live in. Years back, before I even lived there, it used to start flashing when you'd approach it. There'd be a motion sensor and it would turn on this big flashing light warning moose. Thousands of collisions. That was taken down like 5 years ago, and they took down all the other normal signs 3 years ago. You know, for the first time in 2 years, I saw moose tracks in my yard. I have thought about taking it into my own hand and putting a giant moose crossing sign out in front of my house that the DOT can't take down. I would put a gigantic one up that is like on my own property. The state owns, no, not the state, the town owns, I think only 10 feet from the road I'm on. And 10 feet is, you know, good enough. That doesn't make a big difference. Most people going by are going to think the town put it up. That's not a big distance from the road. Not at all. But you wouldn't believe how much a sign costs, and that'll probably prevent me from doing it. A professional sign that's reflective and all that, if you go to a sign maker or order it from a sign maker on eBay, they're expensive. If you want a real sign, real street signs are bigger than you think when you're up close. A big Animal Crossing sign, sometimes it's 4 feet across, and those things can cost $500 to manufacture, at least, some of them. I ordered a really small sign that was reflective once, an Animal Crossing sign. I also ordered some other sign that was professionally made and reflective. It was only 18 inches by 12 inches, and it cost like $50. Professional signs are not cheap. Most towns make their own. They buy the aluminum, they stamp it out, they put the reflective over it, they put the letters over it, they make them all. Like all those big green signs you see up on the highways, well, they're green in my area. I know they're brown or blue in some parts of the country. Those are all usually made by the DOT. They have a sign shop that makes them all. Imagine how much that would cost for myself to buy a highway sign. Those big signs you see over the highway, some of those things are 30 feet wide. Coming back into a snowy area again. Just today alone, we lost probably a couple inches of snow. This was much easier to drive through than it was a day ago when I came through here. There's going to be another flooded road coming up in about a minute. Maybe 2 minutes. Is this it? Yep, this is it. Gotta go slow. This void is bigger than it looks. Boom. Boom. Yeah, I see. I knew that was going to come up. I know all these roads by heart. I have been traveling these things for years, up and down. And, you know, basically anywhere in this woods, and it's so many millions of acres, I know almost every road by heart. If you just randomly placed me out here on one of these roads, unless it was one of these little scraggly side roads, but even if I left it and just made it back to one of the main arteries, I'd easily know where I am without a map. And the silly thing is, I would probably recognize one of the pipes, and I know in my head how to get to every single pipe. That right there, I think, was the road. I think this is now the plowed section. Maybe. Yeah, I know all these roads by heart. And the culverts. I can recognize all the culverts, and 90% of culverts I've ever filmed, even a couple on the West Coast, I'd be able to figure out how to get back to them. Just in my head. Very good at directions. I've probably been down realistically 70% of the roads in the Maine wilderness. I'm not counting the little scraggly ones. If we're counting the little scraggly ones, I would have to say 50%, maybe 40%, but that's still saying a lot. I know all the main arteries definitely, though. There's so many logging roads in Canada. I think that maybe next summer, not this summer, because I have a lot of things I want to do this summer. I think next summer when I think I'm going to take like a month and explore up into Canada, some of their extremely rural logging roads up in northern Canada. Take a look at Google Maps at northern Canada. There's no roads going up there, but it looks so cool. There's so many ponds. There's so many beaver ponds, I can tell they are from Google Maps. It's so colorful, all the different things growing in the ponds. It's amazing, it's so colorful up there. Few people have ever seen it up there in real life. And there's no roads going there. None. That would be quite the adventure to bushwhack deep into a place like that. But there are some logging roads going to some places like that I want to go on. But I need to look at Canada's laws to see if I'd even be able to do that the same way as I operate here. I would need to research those laws. I know a couple of the western states have issues with the beaver things. Oh yeah, so back there what I said was the end of the plowed road. Yeah, that was it. Now we just entered a pretty heavily traveled road now. And I think I'm going to end the video here. I'm pulling up on a place in about a half an hour where I'm going to sleep. I have a trail camera I'm going to pick up in the morning that's inside the pipe. I saw some beavers there looking at the pipe I unblocked. And maybe we'll have a video for that video of beavers blocking it back up. Yep. That'll be the first time this year I've used the beaver cam inside the pipe. And the second time I time-lapsed the water going down throughout the day. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great night.